Have you ever laid awake at night, replaying conversations, worrying about the future, and imagining problems that do not even exist? Your mind races from one thought to another. You analyze every decision. You question every action. You search for answers that never seem to come. And the more you think, the more trapped you become. Marcus Aurelius understood this struggle. He knew that the human mind has a tendency to wander into fear, doubt, and endless speculation. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Yet most people live the opposite way. They try to think their way out of uncertainty. They believe that if they worry enough, analyze enough, or prepare enough, they can control the future. But the future has never belonged to us. Only this moment does. The first truth you must understand is that overthinking is not problem-solving. Many people confuse the two. Problem-solving seeks action. Overthinking seeks certainty. Problem-solving asks, "What can I do next?" Overthinking asks, "What if everything goes wrong?" One moves you forward. The other keeps you stuck. Think about how many hours have been lost to worries that never became reality. How many scenarios did your mind create that never happened? How many sleepless nights were spent fighting battles that existed only in imagination? The Stoics recognized a simple truth. Most suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our opinions about them. Your mind creates stories, and then it reacts as if those stories are real. You imagine failure before you fail. You imagine rejection before anyone rejects you. You imagine disaster before any disaster arrives. And then you suffer from things that do not exist. This is the trap of overthinking. The second lesson is this: stop demanding certainty. One reason people overthink is because they want guarantees. They want to know that their decision is correct. They want to know the future outcome. They want to know that everything will work out. But life offers no such promises. The Stoics accepted uncertainty as part of existence. They understood that no amount of thinking can remove risk from life. At some point, you must act without knowing exactly what will happen. Courage is not certainty. Courage is moving forward despite uncertainty. Many people stay trapped because they keep waiting for perfect clarity. Yet clarity often comes after action, not before it. The third lesson is to return to the present moment. Overthinking lives in the future. Peace lives in the present. Ask yourself, what problem exists right now? Most of the time, the answer is surprisingly simple. You are sitting in a chair, you are breathing, you are safe, yet your mind has traveled weeks, months, or years ahead. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to focus only on the task directly in front of him. When your mind begins racing, bring it back. Focus on the next step, not the entire journey, just the next step. The fourth lesson is to trust action more than thought. Many people think they need more thinking. What they actually need is movement. Action breaks the cycle. When you exercise, your mind quiets. When you clean your room, your mind clears. When you begin the task you have been avoiding, anxiety weakens. Action creates evidence. Overthinking creates fear. One small action is worth more than 1,000 anxious thoughts. The Stoics were men of action. They did not spend their lives trapped inside their minds. They focused on what could be done today. You can do the same. The fifth lesson is to accept what is beyond your control. This may be the most powerful Stoic principle of all. Some things belong to you, your choices, your actions, your attitude. Other things do not. The opinions of others, the future, unexpected events, the past. Yet most people spend their energy fighting things they cannot control, and this creates endless mental exhaustion. Imagine carrying a heavy stone everywhere you go. That is what overthinking feels like. Now imagine putting it down. Nothing changes except your willingness to stop carrying it. The burden disappears. The final lesson is simple. Your mind is a tool, not a master. Use it when needed. Rest it when possible. Not every thought deserves attention. Not every fear deserves belief. Not every worry deserves your energy. You do not have to follow every thought that enters your mind. You can observe it, acknowledge it, and let it pass, like clouds moving across the sky. The Stoics understood that peace does not come from controlling every circumstance. Peace comes from controlling your response. So the next time your mind begins racing, pause, take a breath, ask yourself, is this thought helping me act, or is it only keeping me afraid? If it is not helping you move forward, release it. Return to the present. Focus on what you can control. Take one small action and trust that the future will reveal itself in time. Because the person who masters their thoughts no longer becomes a prisoner of them, and that is where true freedom begins. But there is one final lesson that most people never learn. Overthinking often disguises itself as preparation. The mind says, if I think about it a little longer, I will finally be ready. If I analyze every possibility, I can avoid failure. If I worry enough, I can protect myself from pain. Yet how often has this been true? How many hours have been spent worrying about situations that never happened? How many sleepless nights were wasted on fears that never became reality? The Stoics understood that much of human suffering is self-created. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. A future problem may never arrive, but by worrying about it today, you experience the pain twice, once in your mind, and again if it ever happens. This is why Marcus Aurelius trained himself to remain in the present, not because the future was unimportant, but because the present was the only place where action was possible. You cannot act in tomorrow. You cannot act in yesterday. You can only act now. And every moment spent trapped in unnecessary worry is a moment stolen from your life. Think about this carefully. Your life is not made of years. It is made of moments. And overthinking quietly steals those moments one by one. The sunset you did not notice, the conversation you barely heard, the opportunity you were too afraid to pursue, the peace you could have experienced, all sacrificed to thoughts about things that may never happen. The Stoic path asks a different question. Instead of asking, what if everything goes wrong? Asks, what if I am strong enough to handle whatever happens? Notice the difference. The first question creates fear. The second creates confidence. The first assumes weakness. The second assumes growth. Marcus Aurelius never expected life to be easy. He expected challenges, loss, criticism, disappointment, uncertainty. But he also trusted his ability to face them, and that trust freed him from constant anxiety. Perhaps this is what you need most, not certainty, not guarantees, not perfect answers, but trust in yourself. Trust that whatever comes, you will adapt. Trust that whatever happens, you will learn. Trust that you have survived difficult days before, and you will survive future ones too. The truth is simple. You do not need to solve every possible problem today. You only need to meet the day in front of you. One decision, one action, one moment at a time. Because the mind finds peace, not when it controls the future, but when it stops trying to. So if you wish to stop overthinking, remember these Stoic principles. Accept uncertainty. Separate facts from imagination. Take action instead of endless analysis. Let thoughts pass without attaching to them. Keep perspective, trust yourself, and return again and again to the present moment. For this moment is all you truly possess. The past is gone. The future is unseen. But this breath, this step, this day belongs to you. Guard it well, use it wisely, and refuse to surrender it to unnecessary worry. Because a peaceful life is not found by thinking more, it is found by thinking less about what you cannot control and focusing completely on what you can. And in that focus, the restless mind becomes still, the anxious mind becomes clear, and the overthinking mind finally finds peace. And when peace finally arrives, you begin to see life as it truly is, clearly. The overthinking mind is like water disturbed by a storm. The more it churns, the less it can reflect reality. But when the water becomes still, everything becomes visible. This is why the Stoics valued inner calm above external success. A person may possess wealth, status, and power, yet remain miserable because his mind never rests. Another may have little, yet live with deep contentment because he has mastered his thoughts. The difference is not circumstance. The difference is self-mastery. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but his greatest battle was not against foreign enemies. It was against distraction, fear, anger, anxiety, and the endless noise of the mind. Every day he reminded himself to return to what mattered, to his character, his actions, his responsibilities. Not to imaginary futures, not to useless worries, not to things beyond his control. You must do the same. Each morning, before the world pulls your attention in 100 directions, remind yourself, today I will focus only on what I can control, my thoughts, my actions, my attitude, nothing more. Each evening, ask yourself, did I spend my energy wisely today, or did I waste it fighting battles that existed only in my imagination? These simple questions can transform a life, because awareness is the beginning of freedom. The moment you recognize overthinking, you are no longer completely trapped by it. You begin to create distance between yourself and the thought. And in that distance, wisdom enters. Remember, a thought is only a thought. It is not a command. It is not reality. It is not destiny. You do not have to follow every thought that enters your mind. Just as you do not have to open every door you pass, you do not have to engage with every worry that appears. Choose carefully, guard your attention, protect your peace, because attention is one of the most valuable things you possess. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If your attention constantly follows fear, your life becomes fearful. If your attention constantly follows worry, your life becomes anxious. But if your attention follows purpose, growth, and virtue, your life begins to reflect those things. This is the Stoic way, not the pursuit of a perfect life, but the pursuit of a disciplined mind, a mind that remains steady when others panic, a mind that acts when others hesitate, a mind that finds peace where others find chaos. So the next time you catch yourself overthinking, pause. Look around, feel your feet on the ground, take a slow breath, and ask yourself, is this thought helping me, or is it only stealing this moment from me? If it is stealing the moment, let it go. Return to the present, return to action, return to life. Because life is far too short to spend it trapped inside your own mind. The sun will rise tomorrow whether you worry or not. The future will arrive whether you fear it or not. And the best way to prepare for it is not through endless thinking. It is through living well today. One calm decision at a time, one courageous action at a time, one peaceful moment at a time. For in the end, the quality of your life is determined not by how much you thought about living, but by how fully you actually lived. And that is how you stop overthinking. Not by controlling every thought, but by refusing to let every thought control you.